So this is much less ready to open the chat.
Hello?
Hello, Shreya.
Hi, Ujjwala. How is it? Yeah. Yeah, Ujjwala, I have a message for you. Seems like the city citizens wanted to talk to you, it seems. So they want you to get back to them. It seems they wanted you to talk to you. So will you just call them?
Yeah, Christian did that.
Yeah.
Yes, I will do it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, send you in now. Okay. Hi guys, Prakriti seems we are waiting for Swati. Okay. We'll just start with test secretly. We'll just increase the framework. So I'll give you
Hello?
minimal.
Shreya?
Hello?
Did you hear? Yeah, we have some background noise. Baby.
Yeah, can you guys just mute up your voice? I think you guys have to mute yourself so that there won't be any background noise. Because I'm sitting in my closed room, office room actually. I think we have to close. I don't know whether I can mute you guys. No, I can't do that. So I think you have to mute up yourself. So is it fine now? Izina, are you getting any
There is some TV. There is some TV or something is going on behind me.
Hello? One sec. Hello. Hi Balaji, are you there? Hi Balaji. Let me just
I am the only one muted.
Okay. Okay, fine. So we'll do it. So if you can do, you can just go to here, right? You can do yourself, Prakriti, Johnny, Ujjwala, you can do this, right? Just mute it, because if you mute, I can see this cross mark. I can't see cross mark.
Yeah, I have done that one for me. I have done it. I can see it only for my.
Okay, you can see it only for you. Okay, fine, not a problem. Okay, you guys can do this. Like, you can just go to this one here. Right? Yeah, this way. Okay, come for you. Okay, it seems you have muted up, right? No issues. Yeah.
Srinath, can you see me as muted or?
No, I can't see. Here you can see, right? I've shared your. Okay, you can't see the screen. Seems okay. I can't see you muted, but I think you can mute yourself. Then from where we are getting this? Because even I am getting the noise actually. Some background noise. Okay, everyone. Vamsi, I think you even have booted up. So now maybe Balaji has been. I'm waiting. Let me call it. Yeah, it seems. Yeah, it just stopped now. Is it fine now for everyone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So anyways, we are just going to discuss the topics today anyways, right? Anyways, we don't have any much thing today. We'll be just discussing the whole topics, like what exactly will be going on across the whole advanced Java, because this advanced Java will be completely, covering up all the following things actually. So in this we'll be starting basically with JDBC, right? Which is we'll be learning complete Java database connectivity, and this will be mostly, as I've already informed, in real time we use Hibernate in case of JDBC, but yes, we have to understand the complete pattern of how JDBC works and what exactly is the process of analyzing results and all. So we'll be going in depth of JDBC, like learning what are different drivers, what is a driver, what are different type of drivers, right? And what exactly is a JDBC API, right? What is the internal architecture of JDBC, and how does JDBC works in combination with other databases? Like there are so many databases, right? Like Oracle, you have MS SQL, you have Sybase, you have DB2, you have so many, right? How can we actually? So this JDBC will be mostly a theory part, because there is so much to learn in theory, and I'll be giving you an example of connecting database, because we in practical, in a company syllabus we'll be having many databases to work on. But here I have configured my system with SQL Server, right? So I'll be showing you how to work with SQL Server, connect to that, and something that will be towards the end of our JDBC. We'll be discussing on that. Okay? And next part, we'll be concentrating completely on web applications. So web application development. So under this web application development, we'll be getting the main topics like. So first we'll be learning networking in Java. So networking in Java, in the sense, what is TCP/IP? What is the meaning of protocol? What is the meaning of a message protocol and connection protocol, right? What are different types of connection protocols we have, like TCP/IP, and what is UDP? Where do we use UDP? Where do we use TCP/IP? How does internet works? Right? On what protocol internet works? What are different internet message protocols, right? And what is a pool? What is pooling? And what is an internet hub? And who creates internet hub, right? And in real time, how to deploy an internet hub? All these things you'll be learning in networking, because networking is something where you'll be mainly concentrating on something called server client architecture, right? And will be, because we basically go through networking in Java before servlets, JSPs, and other topics, because you should understand servlets part. And in this servlets, before servlets, you will be checking out what is CGI and ASP, right? What exactly, I mean, servlets is nothing but a server-side scripting. So this is a actual, actual script, server script which creates a medium between the server, web server, and a interface application, which is HTML page application. So we'll be checking out the complete look onto this. Give me a moment, guys. I'm just getting this call. So this. Yeah. Okay, so we're on servlets, right? Yeah. So this is the main medium in Java, which is used for web programming medium, and servlets is a very powerful tool being provided by Java, and we'll be going in depth of servlets, like what is servlet lifecycle, like how do we right? How we can actually the servlet, how it is different from CGI and ASP, because CGI is something which is a legacy server scripting. Hello. Yeah, server scripting, which is like, it was a first server scripting being developed in market, which is called.
Hello, Srinath. Your voice is breaking up a little bit. There was a long pause. I don't know if it's. There was a long pause actually.
No, that was that long pause was I just got a call from consultancy people actually, so I just muted up actually. It was not so pause.
Oh, okay.
Is it clear now?
Okay. Yes, now it's fine. Clear.
Okay, cool, okay. Yeah. So first, we'll be learning about what was the architecture of CGI, right? And what is the architecture of ASP. CGI is something which is a legacy one, and some people who are developing on Python or Perl, right? They are using CGI as a server-side scripting, right? And ASP is nothing but active server page, which is also called as active scripting base, right? Which is basically used for .NET scripting actually. This is something which runs on iOS, right? So we'll be just checking out the architectures of these two, and we'll be seeing what is the advantage of servlets over these two, right? Because that is very important, because this is CGI is something which is a legacy server scripting part, right? And in servlets we'll be looking into each and every fundamentals, like what exactly is a improvement being done when compared to CGI in servlets, and how does it works internally, right? Like whenever there is a new request, let us say if you're taking an example, let's through this web application development, right? We'll be taking some real-time examples, like let's consider Facebook. Like per day or per minute, right? How many requests will be coming to server? Like there will be millions of requests, right? Everyone whoever connects to Facebook will be getting that the request trigger will be getting into the server. So in technical terms or in software terms, we call a request. I mean, if there is a bunch of requests, let us say if there are 10 requests being coming to server, we call it as a traffic, right? So from now on, whenever I say traffic, just think that, I mean, it's a server traffic. Think that there are so many requests being coming up from clients to the server, and we are maintaining server. So sometimes whenever there are more connections being happening, which means that we say traffic is growing. Whenever we say traffic is growing, which means server is being hit by so many requests, and if server is not able to cope up those requests, that is a place where we have something called shared servers. Now, in here itself, we'll be learning how to set up your shared servers, how the request is being shared across the servers. We also call this as a load balancing, right? Load balancing in the sense we have two different types of load balancing. We will be learning one load balancing on JDBC, how the load balancing is done. If database is being triggered by, let us say, database is capable of handling some 30,000 requests, and let us say if the clients are more, and if 50,000 hits happen, now what should you do to the remaining 20,000 hits? That is nothing but you will be holding that and sharing with some other database of a same instance. So that is nothing but a load balancing. So we will be learning even the load balancing part, because load balancing is something which will be looking over in the real time, right? We'll be taking out that, and then we'll be seeing what is a solid container, and then we'll be seeing very importantly, which is session management. What is HTTP session? How can we maintain session? Right? We always talk about sessions in the application, right? Like if you log into any banking application, right, banking site, so and if you keep that site idle for some time, like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, right? So what happens? It will say session expired, please log in again. How we can handle that session management in Servlets, or basically in web application in Java? We'll be learning the complete session management in here. Like under session management, we'll be learning how to create HTTP session, or how to create a cookie. How can we create cookies in Java? We'll be learning in here itself. But these things, which is session management and all, will be common in servlets and JSPs too. We'll be learning that. And how can we create a jar file? What is jar file? Right? How can we move from one servlet to other servlet? How can we create a JSP or a simple HTML page using servlet, right? And all these things we'll be learning completely in servlets, right? So during the servlet itself, we'll be learning one web server. So we'll be concentrating on Tomcat. So I'll give you the complete configuration settings and everything, from where you can get Tomcat server, right? How to work with Tomcat server, what is the use of Tomcat server, and how to set up Tomcat server in our web application, right? Or in our Eclipse. Because in our Eclipse, if you don't have Tomcat server, it is you will never be able to run your web application, any other web application. Now till now you can see here I've used this project, right? I've used this project to develop our Java application. So we have gone through the complete core Java in this. That's why you can see here the option here is Java, right? Because we have completely done till now only Java project, so we didn't need a Java JDBC. Now we'll be moving on to the next phase class, which is Java double. So if I click on this Java double, right, which means my editor Eclipse is now you can see here, anyways everything runs as same as everything. Right now you can see here there are few things being added, like servers, right? Servers here. So this is nothing but the option where you can actually add. There are so many other things in Eclipse which you can get a support. I'll be explaining the whole part, right? In this server part, I'll show you how to set up a new server and all, right? But as of now, yeah. So we'll be learning Tomcat. But anyways, in market there are so many other servers, like you have WebLogic, right? You have WebSphere, it's IBM's ones, which is WebSphere, and WebLogic is Oracle's one. You have JBoss, you have so many other web servers. Now, what is the difference between a server, a web server, and a web, web service? There is so much of difference. These things are not same. These terminologies. So whenever we enter into the these topics, right? So then we'll be getting a good idea on each of the topics, right? Not to worry. And then we'll be moving on to the one of the very important topic, which is JSP, Java Server Pages, right? JSP is the main interface of the web development, which is the pages. How can you develop pages? Now, anyways, here you won't be learning HTML, because HTML is something which is a separate topic, but we'll be learning what exactly Java provides to make your web page compact, right? We'll be learning that part completely, which is JSP. But anyways, yeah, it is true that we have to use some HTML. We'll be using HTML, but including that, how actually we can create a JSP which can talk to Servlet, which can talk to Tomcat, which can talk to JSP, which can talk to the normal classes we create. Like we created so many things, right? How can we create this? How can we attach them to the Servlet? How can we attach these things to JSP, right? Everything we'll be learning here. And in JSP, obviously, first thing what we'll be learning is the architecture of JSP. How exactly JSP works, right? Because architecture, and immediately you have to see the life cycle of JSP, because in life cycle of JSP again travels through servlets, and then it will be moving on to the end user. So that's why we'll be learning first servlets and then JSP, not the reverse way. Because servlets is something which is like daddy of JSP. If you don't understand servlets, there is no use of understand. You will never be able to understand JSP. That's the main relation between them, right? And in JSP's it is true that JSP provides much more support than servlets, where you can actually do some web programming, like HTML programming, and some Java programming. You can just combine those two in JSP, right? So we'll be learning the complete scripting part. What is the standard actions we can do? How can we move from one JSP to other JSP? How can we send data from one JSP to other JSP? How can we create complex pages, right? In complex pages, how can we handle data, right? How can we populate data from some classes or database or something, right? How can we connect them? So all these things we'll be learning in JSPs, right? What is tag? What is implicit object? What is direct to tag, right? What is session management again? How can we handle session management over here? What is triplet? What is directives? What is page directive, right? All these things we'll be learning in JSP, and including this we'll be completely learning Java Beans here, right? What is a Java Bean and how can we use Java Bean here? The property of using a beans here, right? We'll be checking out those things in this JSP thing, right? And basically, anyways, the whole web application development will be doing on Eclipse, right? And because Eclipse is an editor which is the recommended editor for Java development, anyways, right? Anyways, you can also use, if you are using NetBeans or JDeveloper, the support will be the same, like how to add APIs, right? And how to do the web development, everything will be same, right? But in our training, we'll be concentrating more on Eclipse, because that's a recommended and most used editor we have, right? That will be the web application development part, right? You have just seen I've just given overview topics, but we'll be getting many internal topics on this. I've just given a overview, like what we'll be touching upon in this web application development, right? And then So once this is done, so we'll be next moving on to something called, yeah, immediately once this JSP build part, which is this part, is done, we'll be concentrating on web services. Again, very important entity here in web services. Like we'll be touching upon mostly CXF and access to web services, how to create them, and what exactly first thing what we'll be learning is what is the use of web service and how web service is different from our web application, right? We'll see whether this web service is a part of web application or it's a separate entity, how to work with web service, and why web service is not directly exposed to the end user, right? We have to create a wrapper. That wrapper is nothing but a website, right? How can we do that? How can we deploy? What is deployment? Very important topic, which is what is deployment. Anyways, this is something which is internal topic of any one of these, right? What is a deployment? How can you deploy a servlet? How can you deploy JSP? How can you deploy a web application which contains servlets and JSPs? Right? How can you deploy web service? How can you connect web service to a deployed website? Right? It's very important. So we'll be learning all those things under web services, right? Web services topic, right? So in web services we'll be touching upon these two. I'll show you how to work with these two. And if you understand this part of web service, right, you can also use these web services in Android. The same web services can be used on Android, but mostly for Android, recommended web services access to. But most of the web servers, right? And anyways, for Android application development, we can use the same web service topic I'll be covering, which will be useful in both Java web application and Android too. So maybe tomorrow, if you are actually trying to learn Android, this will be helpful for you guys, right? There won't be very much change, but I will give you like what is the pattern we follow in our Android development, right? So that will be the complete web application development part, right? Anyways, during these JSP servlet itself, so we'll be touching upon a simple JavaScript also. I'll just give you a simple JavaScript, like how we can use JavaScript, because servlets is something which is server self-scripting and JavaScript is a client self-scripting. What is the difference between them and all? Because JavaScript is something which is a separate topic, it's a separate training topic, right? It is not being, it is a separate thing which is common for all, common for .NET, common for PHP, common for Java, common for Perl, common for Python and all, right? And it's a very interesting topic, right? But I'll be giving what is JavaScript, how can we code JavaScript in JSP. We'll be doing that, some part, right? So that will be our web application, and this will be the main excuse me. Okay, so this will be the main J2EE part, right? And so once these things are done, right, so we'll be moving on with the frameworks now. But anyways, I'm clubbing them with this, but anyways, we'll be having a thin line between, once we complete this, anyways, again, we'll be having one refreshment class, right? Like, you can go through each and every video, right? And you can get back to me if you have any doubt on the refreshment. And after that, we'll be starting with frameworks, right? So I'm just giving you, a brief topic names, because anyways, as I've given you for the core Java, I'll also give you for advanced Java, each and every topic on servlet, JSP and all, right? Not to worry. So in servlets, in frameworks, right? Before learning frameworks, it's very important to have a very good hold on OOPS, because the frameworks are, framework is something which is not an inbuilt of Java. No, it is not inbuilt of, as we have something called servlet. Servlet is something which is provided by Java itself, right? But these frameworks which we are going to talk about are something which are developed by third-party guys, right? Which are developed by, it's a framework which was, even you can develop your own framework. You can do that using Java, and you can suggest that framework to the guys. So the same way, some people who were working in, who were in IT industry for many years, they designed there are so many frameworks, but among them there are 3 frameworks which are booming now, right? Eclipse and the JRE from 5 version supports the complete framework modulation, right? So in frameworks, first we'll be learning on struts. It is not strut config XML. How can we create a config XML? And anyways, in the same way, you'll be also learning something called servlet XML. XML is nothing but a config file. What is a servlet config file, and how it is different from JSP and servlet config files? Anyways, that topic is something which is internal to servlet and JSP. Right? The same we'll be learning here. And what are the validations? Very important. What are the different validations we have, like validate method, validation framework you have in struts, right? And yeah, we'll be learning some dynamic actions forms. How can we create an action form? How can we create a validation form? How can we create a validator action form? Right? We'll be checking out this. Yeah, and we'll be checking out what are the exceptions. Again, in this web application, we'll be touching completely how to handle or how to do exception handling, because exception handling in this web application development is completely different. But not if you understand try-catch, even that you can apply here in servlets and JSPs. Anyways, mostly the different part is here, which is JSP. We'll be learning a separate topic called exception handling in JSP. We'll be learning that. In the same way, we'll see in struts what is local exception, what is global exception, what is a difference between those two, and which one to handle at what situation, right? We'll be learning that. And what is a data source in struts? How can we create a data source, right? Yeah, and what is the predefined actions like forward action? There is something which is in common with JSP, some features, like I can't say the complete thing is same, but the directions, some directions like predefined actions like forward action, include action, you have dispatch action, yeah, you have switch action, yeah, some things we'll be touching upon that. And anyways, basically we'll be seeing tile framework. How can we design a tile framework in struts, right? So these things we'll be learning in struts, and again whatever I have just phrased now completely works on MVC model, right? we'll be touching upon was it. I've already given you some basic terminology on MVC, but we'll be saying how we can do that in our stress. Okay? And then we will be moving on to springs. Again, in springs, we'll see how to create, a container, which is spring container. Not to create, how we use or how Java spring container is used to run controllers here. The main concept here is the inversion concept, which is inversion of control concept. How we can, we also call this a re-engineering. Reverse way of having objects, which is inversion. It's a very good framework, and springs completely will be very interesting topic, right, to go on to see different modules in sorry, like different modules in springs, different beans, how the bean works here, right? Like we have something called injections here, constructor injection, something called something called sector injection, right? I will be touching upon them, and you have something called wiring, auto wiring. What is auto wiring? We will be learning spring modules, different modules in spring, and DAO, subtypes, spring context, so spring MVC, AOPs, right? And even springs have got its own configuration file. Among all these things, right, configuration file will be common, right? How to create configuration in here, and here, which is very important. Understanding configuration file part is very important in this frameworks, right? Anyways, we'll be having that as a separate topic in our each and every main topics, right? So that will be the main springs part. And this Hibernate, anyways, Hibernate is completely something which is used for database communications, right? And these two are something which will be used for common logic parts, right? Where you can actually write about the generic way of writing your programs. But this Hibernate is completely something which is used for which is not only used for GV communication but mostly used for DV communications, right? And we'll be seeing how this is, what are the advantages of Hibernate as compared to JDBC. First thing, there itself you will understand why we have to learn Hibernate, right? And we'll be learning Hibernate architecture, and very important thing, Hibernate relation mapping, object relation mapping. How to create an object first, right? What is that object? How to create an object in Hibernate? How to map that object, right? Very important topics we'll be taking on. And again, configuration file. We have something called mapping file, and you have how can we create relations like one to one, one to many, many to one, right? These things we'll be learning. And one more thing, we'll be touching on Hibernate query languages. Creation of query is different in JDBC. Like we normally write select star from something, right? But it is not the same in here. Sorry. So in Hibernate, the writing of a query or the scripting, the query language is a bit different, right? It won't be mapping with the same query, but yes, internally it do converts to that. We'll be looking into how to convert, how to create a query language here, and how can we map that to our objects, right? And how can we map that object to the real-time programming which we have now, right? And we'll be learning Hibernate caching, very important. Hibernate is mainly used, this Hibernate framework is so popular because of caching capability, right? So there you have to understand how to do caching. It's a very simple one actually. It's a very simple. If you understand class and object and loops, you can understand all these frameworks, I'm sure, right? But only thing is, you have to understand the way to code, right? And then we'll see basically after once that frameworks part, but once that is done, in Hibernate you'll be learning how to integrate. See, if you know frameworks, you may not be, you may be say technically sound than they say, but the one thing which all companies will be looking for is integration part. You should be knowing how to integrate each and everything, like integration of Servlet and Hibernate. How can we do that? How can we integrate Hibernate? How can we integrate struts and Hibernate? Right? The communication part is very important. Right? Communication part is something which is a key thing, right? Until unless you know Servlet, until unless you know JSP to Servlet to web service, we cannot create a complete web application, right? In the same way, we should also know integration between these things. So that communication part we'll be learning once the framework is done. Because you should have not a complete knowledge, but you should have at least, a touch knowledge. You should understand by that part, okay, this is a strut, this is a Spring, and this is a Hibernate, right? Then you can move on with some communication part or integration part like Hibernate Servlet, Hibernate JSP, or JSP Hibernate, and something like struts and Hibernate, right? We'll be checking out some thing on that, right? So that will be our frameworks part, and in frameworks itself, as a separate topics, we'll be learning RMI, which is again a very important topic, which is a remote method invocation, which is again a legacy one, right? Why do we use RMI, right? What is the importance of RMI? What is a stub, right? Stub is something again which you'll be seeing in web services on access to web service. What is a stub again, right? And what is the basic architecture and why do we use, and what is the importance of RMI? And we will be seeing something, because we have something called, for the next phase of RMI, we will be learning EJB, which is Enterprise Java Beans. This Enterprise Java Beans is not same as a normal use Java Bean or Java Bean which you are using in JSP, but it is something which has got a complete its own significance in market. EJBs, which is Enterprise Java Beans. We will be learning complete EJB architecture, how it is, what are the advantages we have over the RMIs, right? And how the complete session bean is being created. How can we use them? What is a stateless session? What is stateful session, or something called session lifetime, or we also call the session bean lifetime. I'm sorry. How can we create standalone or web clients, right? How can we create remote and local interfaces? Again, what is an entity bean, and how can we create entity bean here, right? And we'll see how to create a jar file or a war file, right? How can we deploy them, right? And all. How can we use them? What is a message-driven bean, right? Those things, everything, all those parts we'll be learning over here, right? Yeah. Anyways, we'll be learning life cycle. What will be the life cycle? Because for each part, like RMI, EJB, and these web development parts, right? You should understand the life cycle first. Until unless you understand the life cycle, you can't move on with the other topics. Yeah. I hope that will be frameworks. I've just given you the high-level topic names here, but we'll be moving in depth of each and everything. And you have something called EJP, you have Hibernate, and yes, Java Beans. Anyways, we'll be covering up in JSP, perfect, and JSTL tag library will be covering up here. Okay, servers. Yeah, yep. That will be the. So this will be our complete advanced Java course, which will be going on. Anyways, we'll be going on medium pace, not too fast, not too slow, right? Because this part is something which the companies will be looking forward from you guys, right? Whenever we go to them, that they maybe need it, this, right? So yeah. and in between, whenever you want me to repeat any class, just buzz me up, right? So that maybe anyways, we'll be having a video with you, right? So you can go to the video if you have any. But in this part of the application, try to at least in a week, anyways, you'll be having 2 days off, right? At least try to practice these things, because unless you practice this, right, you won't be getting much of hold, because yeah. So that is very important. That is very important in terms of frameworks. But anyways, in this networking, Servlets and JSPs, anyways, even this will work if you practice more, right? So that will be the course. Yeah, Chola.
Will it be more like theoretical, or are we going to work on some application?
No. There won't be much of theory. From application development, obviously it will be more on practical. I'll be showing you how to create JSP submit everything.
Okay, means we'll take some web application, right? Example of application.
Yeah, I'll be taking, definitely, we'll be taking it. I'll be creating separate for submit. I'll be creating separate for JSP for understanding. We'll be creating a simple courses to connect to JSP servlet. We'll be running that, we'll be deploying that. We'll be doing definitely. But in JDBC, yes, in JDBC it will be from tomorrow, right? It will be, I'll be starting JDBC, and few class you have to bear with me because JDBC contains more of theory, right? You have to understand JDBC in theoretical part, because if you understand theory parts here, anyways there is no, much of layer in between these two. But yes, you have to understand JDBC because there are so many terms in JDBC. And one more thing is in our training things, right? As we don't have a live databases, right? We won't be giving we won't be having 10 different databases with us, right? So we'll be giving an example of one database, how to connect, and if you understand that part, and each and everything will be same as JDBC. But from our application, yes, theory part, there will be theory part. I'm not saying no, but there will be around 10 or to 20% of theory part. But every class, again, it will be like core Java. I won't be taking more of theory because even I don't like theory. Instead of that, we'll be moving more onto practical. Each and every class from the application part will be practical. And in the application, whenever we start this networking part will be theory, because again this will be interesting theory. Again, this won't be like so many technical terms, but we'll be getting how internet works, how protocol works, what is TCP. These things will be showing some diagrams, and some things like to understand much better server client, what is 3-tier application, what is 2-tier application, right? What is single-tier application, what is basically what is tier application, right? Those things will be obviously theory, right? You cannot create tier applications here unless you complete Java, right? So that will be fine, Ujjwala. Okay guys, so that will be all for today, right? If you have any more, I think most of the parts will be covered in these things. Even if you have any other requirement, right, it will be covered here, I'm sure, internally, right? Fine. So that will be also from tomorrow onwards. We'll be starting JDBC.
Srinath,
Yeah.
see, I want you to do, debug, how to debug the application once JSP is done. So can you explain after that? After once JSP?
Definitely. I'll do that. Not a problem.
Okay. So just
You mean how to debug a web application, right?
Yeah.
I'll do that. No, not a problem. I'll do that.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure, I'll do that.
And also logging log4j or something like that. Are we going to work on that log4j?
I'm sorry.
Logging.
What logging?
Logging. There is a exception logging or log4j. Have you? Okay. We'll be okay. Log4j you're talking about. I was thinking like you're talking about a logging which we do on web applications, like each and every step we log, right? We create that will be same, but yes, I'll be talking about that. Yeah, that will be an important topic, not to worry, okay? And how much time does this course will take?
So actually, basically, if you go to frameworks, right, it is like it takes some 7 to 10 hours. So each and everything will not take more than 10 hours each topic. But if you are going for more examples and all, right, maybe here what you have to understand is here you don't need more examples, right? Because if I give you one example of Hibernate, right, you will understand the complete Hibernate. That will be in that way. If I give you one example of each concept of string, right, it is like something, a layer, like, sorry guys, I'm getting some disturbance, okay, fine. Right? It is like, you didn't have IDM collections, right? Now I hope you have a complete IDM collection, right? Collection framework. the same pattern will be here, right? So in part of timing, right, I would say it will take more, at least maybe 50 to 60 hours will be taken.
That was 2 months. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to.
Yeah, because I can't go fast here, because this is something which you have to understand a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be completing that. Yeah, but not to worry, but I'll be going I'll not be going very brief. I'll be going in depth, because I hope if you have any constraints on timing, you can just inform me, right? So that I can move, a bit faster. Right? Whenever you start this, right, just inform me if I'm going slow, because so that I can speed up myself, right? Fine, guys. Any more questions? Prakriti, Swati, Jami, Vamsi. So is that clear with that content and all? I hope that will be clear for that. If you have any questions, you can ask me anytime. Anytime you are ready. Fine then, let's meet up tomorrow. And Ujjwala, please call up, right? They want to talk to you, it seems. And Vamsi, it seems, if you can just email them. I just got a call from them, whether on this. Okay, Vamsi? Just email them, CC me.